Good day, everyone. Winter has certainly arrived in central New York. I hope that you are all doing well during these very snowy, wintry days. This week, I'd like to share a poem with you that I heard this week by Dana Fouts. And it goes like this: there is no control in life. Try controlling a lightning bolt containing a tornado, or dam a stream and it will create a new channel. Resist and the tide will sweep you off your feet. Allow and grace will carry you to higher ground. The only safety lies in letting in all the wild and weak fears, fantasies, failures, and successes. When loss rips the doors of the heart, or sadness veils your vision with despair, practice becomes simply bearing the truth and the choice to let go of your known way of being. Then the whole world is revealed in new eyes. The whole world is revealed in new eyes. Bearing the truth and letting go of our known way of being. Then the whole world is revealed in new eyes. We must admit there's been a lot of resistance to truth these days. To zero in on one truth that we all try to resist. And the truth is that we as human beings have very little control. We think we do, and then the pandemic occurs and we realize how vulnerable and powerless we can be. When we continue to clutch onto this illusion of control, we so often find ourselves anxious and depressed. It's so interesting that a recent Pew Research report finds that during the pandemic, many people have actually deepened their faith. Perhaps this is because, as Richard Rohr says, authentic spirituality is always on some level or in some way about letting go. Remember what Jesus said: the truth will set you free. This weekend, the First Testament reading is from the book of Job. As we all know, Job was one of the most righteous of men who quickly discovered that he had no control. And after fighting and quarreling with God, he simply had to let go and shut up. He had to surrender. Again, back to Richard Rohr, who writes, the spiritual journey is a journey into mystery, requiring us to enter into the cloud of unknowing, where the left brain always fears to tread. Precisely because we're being led into mystery, we have to let go of our need to know and our need to keep everything under control. Most of us are shocked to discover how great this need is in each one of us. You know, the only thing keeping us from surrendering and trusting in God is our own ego. Because our ego feeds on the desire to always be in the driver's seat at all times. And when we have this desire and we feel we need to be in the driver's seat, what happens so often is emotional breakdowns, depression, anxiety, chronic stress, disease. When we're so attached to the outcomes in our lives, when everything has to go the way I want it to, it just so quickly leads to suffering and pain. Once we learn to detach from trying to control and plan life, we're no longer blocked. But instead, then we're open to receive life's magical moments and to be open to grace for those times when life just doesn't work out the way we want it to. The book of Proverbs says, trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. Listen for God's voice in everything you do. Everywhere you go, He's the one who will keep you on track. Not ourselves, but God. I heard of the strategy once used to catch monkeys. Poachers would drill holes into hollowed out coconut hulls and place an enticing bit of food inside. They would then chain the coconut to a tree. A monkey would smell the treat and put his hand inside to retrieve it. With the fist holding the food, there was no getting out. The monkey was trapped. All the monkey had to do to free itself was let go of the food to relax his hand. It was so simple yet so impossible for that monkey to let go. We're so much like that. We think we will remain in control if we hang on tightly. But letting go so often is what frees us up. Perhaps this week each one of us can reflect upon control in our own lives, how we try to control everything, how we think we can control everything, how we are resisting our own finiteness, our own vulnerability, our own powerlessness and humanness. Are we fighting with God? Are we trying to control God, thinking that our prayers will change God? Perhaps we really need to understand what prayer is. Prayer is not about changing God, but being willing to let God change us. Back to that poem. There is no control in life. Try controlling a lightning bolt containing a tornado. Dam a stream and it will create a new channel. Resist and the tide will sweep you off your feet. Allow and grace will carry you to a higher ground. The only safety lies in letting in all the wild and weak fears, fantasies, failures, and successes. When loss rips the doors of the heart, or sadness veils your vision with despair, practice becomes simply bearing the truth and the choice to let go of your known way of being. Then the whole world is revealed in new eyes. The whole world is revealed in new eyes. I believe that this pandemic is forcing us to have new eyes, to stop resisting, to depend upon our God, to bear the truth, and then we will be able with grace to let go of our known way of being and see God in a new way. Finally, surrendering and letting go, trusting in the God that we cannot control. That's what Job had to go through. So what about us? Can we see our prayer as not trying to change God, but allowing God to change us? Be at peace this week. Let us each pray for one another's health and safety. Thank you.